The mystery, which is the love that we call God, is with you all. Thanks be to all that is holy. On behalf of Holy Cross Lutheran Church, welcome. Holy Cross is an inclusive community which is progressive in approach and Christ-like in action. My name is Dawn Hutchings, and I am privileged to serve as the pastor at Holy Cross. Thank you for joining this worship service. If you'd like to follow along, the order of service can be downloaded from our website, www.holycrosslutheran.ca. It's difficult for me to believe that this is actually the last Sunday in August. And over the course of the next few weeks, people will be gearing up as children, grandchildren, teachers, and perhaps some of us head back to school. Usually, the return to school is a joyous time, but this year there is all sorts of fear and apprehension surrounding the unknown. So we are peeking out beyond the confines of our various COVID isolations with trepidation. Now, I don't know about you, but I could sure use a few reminders of the many blessings which may be eluding us as we worry about what is to come. My hope is that this worship video will provide you the reminders that you need of just how blessed we are, so that we can be refreshed and strengthened, so that we can look ahead with hope. So from my home to your home, we shall worship as we live, in the presence of the love which is the divine mystery we call God, who is our lover, beloved, and love itself. Now, I invite you to take a few deep breaths as you enjoy our musician Marnie Curran's prelude. The grace of Christ, who rises in every act of loving kindness, the love which is God, and the power of the Holy Spirit is with you all. Thanks be to all that is holy. Let us pray. We gather in the midst of the divine mystery, which is love, to remember love's power to astound us. Let us joyfully embrace the mystery which finds expression in, with, through, and beyond creation. Let our gratitude for the gifts of creation inspire reverence in us for the intricate design and splendid symmetry of the cosmos. Let the delightful dances of our fellow creatures move us beyond our fear toward hope. Let us open ourselves to the wonder of all that is, trusting the one who is, was, and evermore shall be, our lover, beloved, and love itself, who lives and breathes in, with, through, and beyond us. Amen.
We build our house on you. We place our trust in you. Our hope is found in you alone. We build our house on you. When darkness takes our side and straining has made us blind, our hope is found in you alone. When darkness takes our side, is found in you alone. When rulers rule by fear. If justice doesn't come in this life, under this sun, our hope is found in you alone. If justice doesn't come, so justice come, justice come. Roll on down the hills, come on. Roll on through the prairies deep. Roll on o'er the mountains steep. Roll on through the deepest seas. Justice come, justice come. We build our house on you. We place our trust in you. Our hope is found in you alone. We build our house on you.
Today, we look toward the book of Exodus to discover the gospel. Moses was keeping the flock of his father-in-law Jethro, the priest of Midian. He led his flock beyond the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Almighty appeared to Moses in a flame of fire out of a bush. He looked, and the bush was blazing, yet it was not consumed. Then Moses said, "I must turn aside and look at this great sight, and see why the bush is not burnt up." When the Almighty saw that Moses had turned aside to see, God called to him out of the bush, "Moses, Moses." And Moses said, "Here I am." Then God said, "Come no closer. Remove the sandals from your feet, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground." God said further, "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look at God. Then the Almighty said, "I have observed the misery of my people who are in Egypt. I have heard their cry on account of their taskmasters. Indeed, I know their sufferings, and I have come down to deliver them from the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of the land to a good and broad land, a land flowing with milk and honey, to the country of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, and the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. The cry of the Israelites has now come to me. I have also seen how the Egyptians oppress them. So come, I will send you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt." But Moses said to God, "Who am I, that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" God said, "I will be with you, and this shall be the sign for you, that it is I who sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you shall worship God on this mountain." But Moses said to God, "If I come to the Israelites and say to them, 'The God of your ancestors has sent me to you,' and they ask me, 'What is God's name?' what shall I say to them?" God said to Moses, I am who I am. God said further, thus you shall say to the Israelites, I am has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, thus you shall say to the Israelites, the Almighty, the God of your ancestors, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my title for all generations. This is the gospel of the one who is love. It has been said that the shortest distance between humanity and the truth is a story. I believe that it stands to reason then that a good story, I mean a really good story, has the power to reveal truth about the mystery which we call God. So I'd like to tell you what I think is a good story. It's a story which I have told many times because, like all good stories, it is well worth repeating. The first time I heard this story was from a seminary professor, and since then I've heard this story attributed to Marcus Borg, and Borg actually attributed it to Parker Palmer. And so, like many good truth-revealing stories, its origins are somewhat elusive. This story is about a little girl, and this little girl is 4 years old, and her mom is expecting a baby, and mom tells the little girl that the baby is coming to them as a gift from God, and that this gift from God will be a new member of their little family. Well, sure enough, the baby arrives. A boy is born. And the parents are slightly worried because, nobody really knows how a 4-year-old will react, especially as an only child, to having a new baby in the house. So the parents are reading their parenting books, and they're trying to figure out ways to assimilate this new person into their family without having their little 4-year-old suddenly feel shunted to one side. Well, it turns out that this little 4-year-old girl has an unusual request, a request which her parents don't quite know how to deal with. For some unknown reason, this little girl keeps asking to have some time in the nursery alone with her new baby brother. The parents are slightly worried because they've heard some horror stories about what 4-year-olds can do to newborn babies. And they don't want to leave this little girl alone with their precious newborn. And then they remember the baby monitor. And so they figure they'll set this baby monitor up so that they can listen from a distance and know what's happening. And once everything is carefully set up, the little girl goes into the nursery with her parents lurking in the background, listening to the baby monitor. Now on the monitor, the parents hear the footsteps of their daughter going over to the baby's crib. And the parents are very, very nervous. And then they hear the little girl, who has by now leaned into the newborn's crib, and they hear her say to her new baby brother, "Tell me about God. I have almost forgotten. Tell me about God. I have almost forgotten." This coming Tuesday, churches all over the world will begin a month-long celebration of the season of creation, from September 1st, which is the day of creation, until St. Francis Sunday on October 4th. Our awe and wonder at the beauty of creation will be given voice in our worship celebrations. The season of creation is a relatively new liturgical season born out of our response to the concerns of so many of us about the plight of creation under the weight of human contempt and abuse of the earth and her creatures. I know that many of you are concerned about the many and various ways in which our ravenous consumption of the bounty of the earth threatens the well-being of creation. So I won't presume to preach to the choir here. Instead, I'd like to look at the many and various ways in which the divine mystery, which we call God, finds expression in, with, through, and beyond creation. Tell us about God. We have almost forgotten. For far too long, traditional Christianity has emphasized theological responses to people's desire to know about God. Lutherans and Anglicans and Protestants in general, our traditions have, for all intents and purposes, divorced the divine from creation. Yes, I know that images of a divine Father are employed to portray the mystery of the one who is the source of all reality as the Creator. But this image casts the Creator off into the distant heavens and relegates the divine to a role of distant observer, occasional interferer or meddler, and constant judge. This divorce, like all divorces, has impacted the children in ways which have allowed us to run amok, forgetting, as we do so often, to pay attention to the love which gave us birth, and how that love continues to nurture us, and in which we continue to live and move and have our being. Tell us about God. We have almost forgotten. Our ancestors' story about Moses' encounter with the divine, in which Moses recognizes the mystery in a burning bush, is another good story which reveals the truth of divinity finding expression in creation. For in truth, all bushes are burning, and indeed all ground is holy ground. It is through this ancient story that the divine mystery is revealed in creation as being itself. Tell us about God we have almost forgotten. Or as Moses puts it, if I come to the Israelites and say to them, the God of your ancestors has sent me to you, and they ask me, what is God's name? What shall I say to them? To which the essence of the burning bush responds, Yahweh. Yahweh, which is the Hebrew verb to be, and translates as I am who I am, or I shall be who I shall be. The divine mystery finds expression in, with, and through the burning bush to reveal that the divine source is the great I am, or the expression of what it means to be. Is it any wonder that this story insists that Moses hid his face, afraid to look at the Holy One? Who among us, in the presence of the divine mystery, which is, would not bow in awe and reverence before the source of all being? This kind of response is described as the very first religious impulse. Religion, the word religion, comes from the Latin verb legare, to connect or to bond, to join together. Relegare is to reconnect or to rebond or to rejoin together. The first religious impulse, the first impulse born of reconnection is awe. Close your eyes for just a moment. Conjure in your mind's eye a vision of creation. Perhaps it's a flower, perhaps it's the sky or the stars, or perhaps it's a newborn baby staring up at you. Can you see divine mystery expressed in the wonder of creation? Congratulations. You have encountered your very own burning bush. You have been reconnected with the source of all being, with which you are one. If you're not overcome with awe at the sheer beauty and majesty of creation, then your religion is failing to reconnect you to the one who is. Perhaps we need more practice. We religious types have been preoccupied with shutting creation out of our practice of religion for far too long, and the consequences have been catastrophic. Our attempts to put the mystery in a neat little box of our own design has left us bereft of awe. I don't know about you, but I can't remember the last time a creed, a dogma, or a doctrine left me awestruck. So if awe is the first impulse, what happens after we experience the divine, after we are awestruck? I suspect that we children of divinity might just need to remember what our parents first taught us about gratitude. To respond with grace, which flows so naturally out of awe and wonder, is to practice religion which flows from the love which is divine. Now, I know that there may be some of you who might think that my being Lutheran has me falling back into the doctrine of grace. Please remember that I'm pointing beyond our doctrines here to a mystery which is beyond the beyond and beyond that also. Yes, I'm grateful to my Lutheran heritage for the gifts of the doctrine of grace, but I have long since given up the formula which posits a God who requires the justification of sinners. I'm talking here about grace as a response to the awesome experience of the divine mystery as it finds expression in, with, through, and beyond creation. Just imagine the tenderness with which we might walk upon the earth if in the flowers, the trees, the creatures, and even our sisters and brothers, we learn to experience the divine expression of being itself. I believe that this is what Julian of Norwich saw when she exclaimed, "We are not just made by God, we are made of God." Or when Sally McFaig insisted that the earth is actually God's body. Awe, which leads to grace, is the power of reconnection. Now there's a religious practice that just might heal creation as our grace-filled response to the awesome nature of the divine is expressed in, with, through, and beyond creation and moves us to actually be love in the world. So as we prepare to celebrate the season of creation, let me leave you with another story which is good precisely because it reveals truth. One of my favorite books is Alice Walker's The Color Purple. The book takes its name from an encounter its principal characters, Celie and Shug, have while they're walking in the beauty of a purple field, speculating on the nature of God. It's that tell us about God, we have almost forgotten kind of conversation. Celie asks Shug if she thinks God is vain, to which Shug responds, "I think it pisses God off when you walk by the color purple in a field somewhere and you don't notice it." "What'd it do when it pissed off?" Celie asks. "Oh, it makes something else. People think pleasing God is all God care about, but any fool living in the world can see it always trying to please us back." "Yeah," Celie asks. "Yeah," Shug insists. "It's always making little surprises and springing them on us when we least expect it." As if she is beginning to understand, Celie asks, "You mean it want to be loved, just like the Bible say?" "Yes," Celie, Shug assures. "Everything want to be loved." Tell us about God we have almost forgotten. Every bush is burning. All ground is holy. The divine mystery which we long for finds expression in, with, through, and beyond creation. How awesome! May the one who is being itself surprise you when you least expect it. May you be awestruck, and may you have the wisdom to respond with grace, the kind of grace which flows from love. Thanks be to all that is holy. Amen.
When peace like a river attended my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever, my Lord, thou hast taught me to say, it is well, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul.
Every bush is burning, all ground is holy. The divine mystery which we long for finds expression in, with, through, and beyond creation. How awesome! May the one who is being itself surprise you when you least expect it. May you be awestruck, and may you have the wisdom to respond with grace, the kind of grace which flows from love. Thanks be to all that is holy. Thanks be to you, for you are an expression of the love which is beyond the beyond and beyond that also. Amen. Announcements. Time for the announcements. As many of you already know, Holy Cross will not be returning to in-person worship until at least the end of October. However, after Labor Day, we would like to change our online worship so that it can become more interactive. So a small worship team will help me make this happen. But we also could use some help from a few of you to help us plan these autumn worship services. So if you'd like to be part of our small worship planning team, please get in touch with me. You can email me. I'll put it on the screen here somewhere. We're planning to meet over Zoom, and anyone is welcome to join this team. Our first meeting will be this coming Wednesday, September 2nd at 7 p.m. So email me if you'd like to be part of this, and I'll send you the link. If you're not sure, join the meeting anyway, and then you can make a decision. Going forward, there are all sorts of uncertainties, and in an effort to ensure that Holy Cross is prepared for this uncertain future, Council is establishing a team to explore what our congregation might look like as a result of all the changes which have been and will continue to be necessary. The team's mandate is expressed in its name, Holy Cross 2021 and Beyond, or HC 2021 and Beyond. Every one of you, members, friends, and occasional viewers, you are invited to participate. If you are interested in helping to shape Holy Cross's future, then this is the team for you. Official invitations will be emailed, and they will also be posted on our website, and there will be some follow-up phone calls. Council is anxious to hear from you. HC 2021 and Beyond has a broad mandate which includes exploring what worship might look like in the future, deepening the connections between members, friends, and viewers, expanding programming which will better serve our various constituencies of members, friends, and viewers, and exploring ways to ensure that Holy Cross continues to be progressive in approach and Christ-like in action for many years to come. So if you'd like to be part of HC 2021 and Beyond, we need to hear from you. Our first gathering will take place over Zoom on Wednesday, September 30th at 7 p.m. Now, because we're encouraging folks who may have only joined us online, we'd like to ask anyone who wants to participate to register for this Zoom meeting by Wednesday, September 23rd. To register, you will need to follow the link that's probably on the screen. Now, there's a lot of characters in this particular link, so it will also be printed in the order of service, which you can download from the website, and we'll put it on the website. But just click on that link, and there's a couple of questions there. Answer the questions, and you will get the link for the meeting on September 30th at 7 p.m. Now, the registration gives us an idea of who's interested, and it will help us to know who we might need to tap on the shoulder so as to encourage more people to be part of our efforts. You'll be hearing lots more about this in the coming days and weeks, so stay tuned. Now, Homecoming Sunday is September 20th. So how do you do homecoming when you can't actually gather together? Well, this year the worship team will be planning an online homecoming worship video. But that won't quite do it. So we're also planning an actual in-person get-together outside of our building. So after you participate in the homecoming worship video, you can join us at 1 p.m. on Sunday, September the 20th. We'll be in the parking lot and we'll be on our front lawn for a physically distant homecoming celebration get-together. Now, some of you may want to organize lunch with others on your own, on a patio somewhere, or some of you may want to bring your own picnic. Regardless of what happens between when the service goes up and lunch and this social gathering, we're going to put some tables up in the parking lot. There'll be chairs, and everything will be physically distant and totally compliant with public health regulations. Everyone, and that means everyone, will be required to wear a mask. We will allow limited access to the building. for example, you will be able to use the washrooms. We will not be serving any drinks or coffee or anything like that. The kitchen is still out of bounds, but you're welcome to bring that along for yourself, so that you can have some fellowship with folks we haven't seen in person for some time. So mark Homecoming Sunday, September 20th at 1 p.m. on your calendars. I hope to see many of you there. Go in peace. Be love in the world. Thanks be to all that is holy. Shalom, dear friends. Shalom.
We hope that you have found this broadcast to be of value to you at this time. To continue to offer these, we depend on the support of donors. If you wish to help to keep us going, please donate what feels right for you via Canada Helps to Holy Cross Lutheran Church, Newmarket. Peace be with you.